Welcome to the Soxcast, and this is episode 8. And so far with these episodes, it's always been one-on-one, but for the first time, we're going more than one guest at a time. And for those of you that were around this summer to watch these guys, well, you're getting two for the price of one. These guys they came over from Coppin State, and were fan favorites, rightfully so, with their tremendous play, and of course, just their overall, camaraderie with the entire fan base. You know them, you love them. Giovanni Canales and Javier Jr. Boys, welcome to the Soxcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
So I definitely, I love hearing the origin stories about, the moment someone finds out, hey, you're going to be playing summer ball in Utica. What was that moment like for you when your coaches told you, you're coming to Utica and you're playing in this very good top 5 summer collegiate league in the country, PGCBL?
Yeah, right when they told me that, I immediately thought back to when Bradley Tuttle and Ryan McWilliams, guys that played a year before me, they told me about the beneficial of going there, how they developed as a player, and the atmosphere there. And I immediately got excited, went on my phone, started following Utica on my Instagram, started scrolling down and seeing all the content, and especially the league too. I was just super excited just because the year prior was COVID and every season basically got shut down. But no, I was super stoked just to get out there, and even in New York, just get out there and have fun. So yeah.
For me, it was kind of I was not really aware of the whole summer ball situation, how that worked, collegiate league, all that stuff. Coach, I was our pitching coach at the time. He brought me into his office. He told me, how would you like to play in the perfect game league with the Blue Sox? I said, at first I was like, sure. Wasn't really knowing what I was gonna get into. But definitely after like Gio said, when I did my research, went into it, started following everything, it was definitely very exciting, and I was looking forward to it for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, it must have helped that, obviously all of us here, prior to your arrival, we were making sure to hype y'all up. And, when you got to Utica, what was your first thoughts, just seeing the ballpark, seeing the city? What were your initial thoughts? Eddie, I'll start with you this time.
Yeah, it was like a 3.5-hour drive for me. It wasn't that bad. And I was getting into Utica, and I was like, oh, like this is, pretty cool. Like I said, I wasn't really aware or knowing of familiar with upstate New York kind of. So when I saw the field, I was like, oh, it's pretty sick. And then I went into the locker room, and I had my practice shirts and everything, like my gear was there, my locker with my name on it. Something that I wasn't used to before. It was definitely very, very cool experience. And it was more than I was expecting, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, my trip was 3 hours as well, and right when I got there, you immediately see, once you're going into Utica, it's all nice and stuff, and then right when you get to Murnane, it's just right when you get in that parking lot, you just see the field, and it was beautiful the way it was set up too, and they were working on it as well. Right when I got into the little place, I got introduced to the coaching staff and the other staff, and they greeted me with the arms wide open. I mean, it was a great greeting, not like a friendship greeting, but more of like a family greeting. And I think from then on, I think having the independence of my own locker room and practicing on the field whenever, I think I was just super stoked just to start right then and there, even though we couldn't. But it was a definitely great day the first day.
Well, speaking of that first real atmosphere, opening night, both of you guys are in the lineup. Eddie, starting shortstop. Gio, you got the nod as the starting pitcher for opening night, and anytime you get the opening night start, as a pitcher, that's always a big deal. So for you, Gio, what was it like being on the bump in that opening game against Auburn, and just the overall atmosphere of pitching in front of that crowd, and of course, bump it to the song I gave you, Narco by Timmy Trumpet.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think warming up, I think the most special part was before the gates opened, you could see everyone lining up, and I was just like, oh my God, because I never played or pitched in front of that many people before. And then as I'm playing catch, you just see them coming into the stands, and it was crazy. And then right when I walked out, national anthem, my narco started playing. I was warming up. I was in a groove, I wasn't shaking. I felt at home. It was great. I think the craziest part was right after the national anthem, I looked up, picked up the ball, looked up, and I saw all the fans just staring at me, just warming up. And it was an amazing feeling, honestly. Even the first pitch when they're all clapping for me, and I happened to get the first pitch, the first strike on the first pitch, and they all started clapping. It was definitely, it got my heart pumping. I was adrenaline going. It was amazing for me to keep going and shove the whole day. So, yeah.
Like Gio said, it was definitely, I wasn't knowing what to expect because we talked about it, with GM, we own it, and like they were telling us, there's gonna be a lot of fans tonight, stuff like that. And I've never, like Gio said, I played probably when we were probably like you say our first series at Citadel, where there was like a good amount of fans in a minor league ballpark. But still, it was still something that I haven't experienced often. So leading up to it, I was like, we were working hard the whole 2 weeks or a week, whatever, before. When we got there, we were working with Coach Cole, and it was good to see my name up there in the lineup. And then after that, it was just kind of, I thought I would be, a little bit more nervous, a little more antsy, but I don't know, for some reason, seeing the fans line up, seeing, the seats starting to get full and stuff, it kind of like pumped me up, for sure. It was definitely good. I loved it. I enjoy like having fans there, watching us play. And then it felt even better just having my teammate on the field with me. It was, especially with our season cut short last year, the spring before, it was kind of good to like feel, okay, this is what's gonna be like on a daily basis next spring. So it was a great feeling.
So speaking of pumping up, I wish I came up with it for the first game, but the second game we had a lot of it. I mean, and I hit the play button on that a lot because you played the Diamond Dogs at home, division rival, and you beat them 17-10. So there was a lot of pumping up there. So, what do you guys remember just from the beatdown and seeing a temp at the time, like Anthony Ramo Jr. having a career night like he did, and also just, while the beating's going down, pump it up is just, with each scoring play, it just keeps getting more and more fuel added to it.
I'll go, Gio. It was definitely great atmosphere. Definitely a winning atmosphere, and I could tell, like, just from that night, I could tell, okay, this is gonna kind of be like the MO for us, like the rest of the season. It was definitely something that we definitely ran with, the pump it up, just the energy overall. It was definitely good for us because that's how anybody wants to start a season. But with a margin like that, like you said, like 17-10, them being our rivals, we kind of set the tone. I think kind of set kind of a standard for how we want to play for the rest of the season, and it worked out.
Yeah, when Pump It Up played, the whole stem, you have a small kind of like city of Utica. It was more quiet, and then on game day, it felt like the whole city was there. And when Pump It Up played, my reaction when it come to Pump It Up, I jumped right on the fence, and I was looking around to pump it up with the fans, and it was nice to get them involved, because I've been playing. And when I play, it's just me, and I don't really focus about anything other than the fans. But when I was off, it was nice to get the fans involved, especially in the game of baseball, where it's team but individualized, but it's like really not, I wouldn't say boring, but it's really slow paced in a way. But I think Pump It Up was just a great burst of adrenaline and energy, and I think it was probably the best way to get the fans involved, especially. Yeah.
So for you two, you guys, like I said, became fan favorites. Was that easy for you guys to be able to pull that off and, be two guys that, became so polarizing on that team and so popular? I know Eddie in particular, he had a whole damn, section of fans dedicated for you from New Hartford Babe Ruth. So, I definitely want to get your thoughts on the Hype House and just, becoming a fan favorite here.
Yeah, it was definitely, it came easy to me, I guess you can say. I just try to every day kind of be myself, be how I was with, everyone. I think sometimes, see people they start seeing like fans coming to their games and stuff, they kind of get this like little edge to them, whatever. I just try to stay like the same person I've always been, with everybody, with my friends, with my family, with everybody. Never try to change. So, and I think that that's what worked out for me when I was trying to, you know, connecting with the kids. Like I said, I think I've said in a previous interview, like I saw every kid that I saw that would come up to me, whatever. Like I kind of saw myself in them because I was once, you know, them, whether it was going to indie pro ball games, whatever it was, I was once them. So and it's so easy. It came so easy to me just, you know, to take, whether it was 5 seconds, signing a ball, whatever it was, talking to a kid like a minute, whatever it was, it came so easy to me. And I enjoyed doing it. Like you said, the Hype House, that was another experience that, you know, I would never in my baseball, no matter how far I get in baseball, I will never forget. Just having those guys there, even, you know, wasn't playing the best game that I think that I could have played. And they were still, you know, cheering my name when I was in the dugout, whatever it was. It was definitely like, it was confidence booster for me. It was humbling. It was everything. And, you know, shout out my guys over there, New Hartford, Babe Ruth, and like a bunch of like shout out my boy B Money, shout out Cameron. You know, those are all my guys over there, and I'll definitely never forget them, no matter how far my baseball career goes.
Gio, for you?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was just more about kind of being a role model for them. Every time I step foot, even whether it was in the dugout, in the bullpen, on the mound, you had a whole bunch of eyes on you. And I feel like I kind of took the responsibility of being a role model. And I was really just being myself. I've always been a friendly person with a big smile. And, you know, it was just nice to involve kids, especially kids out of the crowd, and play catch with them on my off days. Like I said, previous to just, you know, getting them involved and, you know, getting to know their story, because everyone has a different story. And even if, you know, they're not my teammates and they're just younger kids, again, like what Eddie said, I see myself as them. And, you know, I would wish for one of the pro guys or one of the college guys to do that to me when I was younger. So I think it was just nice to kind of return the favor and do it for them and give them experience that they won't forget. So yeah, myself.
So part of the whole experience, you know, in summer collegiate baseball, you know, is, you know, after every game, you know, no matter where you went, you know, you get your post-game meal. And here in Utica, you know, there was some great food that was being served. But Gio, you didn't want any of that. Tell us about what you actually had every single home game, dude.
Oh my God. All right. Yeah, the great meals were there, but there's always something in a baseball game that's always got to get you going. It's the hot dog.
Lizzie Goblin, this guy.
The thing is, the hot dog's always going to be there. You know, no matter where you're going in a baseball field, you're going to have nice cuisines, you're going to have nice foods, but the hot dog's always going to be there, and it's always not going to make you happy. I mean, it's just it's quick snack. And after the games, I know they have extra hot dogs, and I always run over there and get an extra hot dog. So yeah, those are amazing.
It wasn't just one though, dude. I mean, what's the most you had after a game?
Oh my God. I think it was, I don't want to say opening day. I think it was the second time I pitched against Oneida. I think it went 3 innings and shoved those 3 innings. And then the game after, I just treated myself with at least 4 or 5 hot dogs. I was telling guys before they left to go get me.
Whoa. Wasn't this Dollar Dog Night?
Yeah, it was the Dollar Dog. Yeah, I think I had a bet with someone where, was it you? I think I had a bet with someone where every strikeout, I would get a hot dog.
No, it couldn't have been me. It definitely was not me.
It was someone. I had a bet where every strikeout was a hot dog. I'm trying to think how many strikeouts. I think I had 4 strikeouts, so I had 4 hot dogs, and then I ran and got another one. So
4
5 hot dogs.
Man,
hey, man,
like, see, I didn't know about that until you just told me.
No, yeah, that was a thing. I literally just remembered right now that hot dog thing was a thing. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I know Eddie, I know you and Enos were like 2 guys that really pumped up the idea of, you know, like when it was Dollar Dog Night, you know, you 2 and then everyone else just jumped on it, you know, like Dollar Glizzy Night, I believe it went everywhere on social media.
Oh yeah, me and Ryan before the game, we're always on our phone, whatever, kicking it, and we saw that Utica posted the Dollar Hot Dog Night. And then Ryan goes, Dollar Glizzy Night, baby. And we just ran with it. And it was that was kind of like all we said that whole night. we gotta get a W for Glizzy night, and now we would look into the crowd too. Was eating hot. We just started like just dying like dollar Glizzy night, whatever it was. But yeah, shout out my man Ryan, my locker mate. That's my guy.
Yeah, for those food nights were insane, especially when I think we struggled for a continuous amount of games to get the taco guy. And I believe
I mean, I've never had any streak like that where I couldn't get him. I think it was like the first 2 or 3 games, and then I just went on a hot streak. And but yeah, no, I mean, once that streak got going, I mean, again, first 3 nights you didn't get it. I'm pretty sure, Gio, you were the first guy to get it, if I'm not mistaken.
I remember I struck out the guy, and I never do this. I never usually do this, and I celebrated on the strikeout. I pretended with my glove to make a taco, and I put seasoning on it, and I pretend to eat it in front of the crowd, and the crowd loved it. I mean, that was hilarious. That was just because it was like a constant struggle just getting the taco guy, and I always had the guy 0-2, and he just put it in play. But I got him that time, so yeah.
See, I didn't notice you did that either. I mean, get the fixings and all. I didn't know you did that. Like that's elaborate.
Yeah, it was just an immediate reaction. I mean, I just had to get the crowd going. It was exciting.
So that celebration wasn't pre-planned. That was just on the spot.
No, nothing was pre-planned. I mean, the pump it up wasn't pre-planned. The taco wasn't pre-planned. I think there was a lot of things that were just natural, just came out of me. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's what makes baseball so fun, honestly. You get all this stuff coming up spontaneously. So, another great thing, I think, speaking of spontaneity, I mean, the whole Pikachu thing, I definitely want to know about that, because I know that was Flay Hive's thing. I mean, it seemed like it was just his thing, but at what point did it become the team's thing? And how was it quick for you guys to just take it and run with it?
Gio, you got it.
All right, the Pikachu. I don't know where Flay Hive came up with Pikachu. I don't know when he brought it. I just remember a Pikachu over my head on the dugout. I knew it was a pitching thing, but the Pikachu came out. Flay Hive just brought it out one game. He said, "This is our good luck charm." And I was like, okay, I'm rolling with it. It's Pikachu. And then we started incorporating Pikachu in the after game when we announced everything of player of the game. And we decided to throw him. I think it might've been, I don't know who we started throwing it at first, but we had
Garrett first.
Yeah, we had Dallas throwing it at people and just incorporated it in there. I don't know. It was just a good luck charm. There was a time where the Pikachu wasn't a good luck charm. I think that was when we brought it on an away game, and that did not work out. And then we just kept it as home games.
Yeah, he liked to stay home. He liked to stay.
Pikachu definitely had a sing.
So, and speaking of another thing that kind of became ingrained in Utica culture. I mean, I usually don't like patting myself on the back. Nah. Who am I kidding? I love patting myself on the back. But the Blue Day intro. What was it like watching LaPointe do it? I didn't realize how big it was until I heard that LaPointe was doing it on the road every single night.
That's all you, Eddie.
Yeah. Like you said, the first time we heard it, it was definitely I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like this is because Ryan told me, oh, watch this. Like you guys aren't ready for this intro, whatever. And then I heard, I was like, oh, it's pretty sick, whatever. And then we would go away, and then John would just in front of the dugout, right before we would huddle, whatever, in front of the dugout for the game, John would hit it. The other team would kind of look like, oh, these guys are kind of they're ready, whatever it was. And yeah, we just it was just like everything else that summer. We would just take things and just run with it, and it would just make it even that more fun.
So, and speaking of that, so let's talk about the walk-off against Watertown the day before the 4th of July. Ninth inning, I think there were 2 separate rain delays, and I believe they were both in an 0-2 count while you guys are trying to make a ninth inning comeback. What were the emotions like of that game? And then, of course, with Ramo coming up, bases loaded, still down a 2-strike count. And then, of course, by the demand of Ryan Enos, I tweaked the Blue Day intro right before the end of that second rain delay, and then essentially prophesizing the walk-off walk.
Yeah, I wasn't. I think Gio could take this. I wasn't there that weekend. I had to go. I was away for that weekend, but Gio, you got it.
Yeah, that weekend was special. I think that was the weekend when my parents came And the thing is, we had like I think 2 rain delays, and it was during a count. And when we were waiting on the second to last, we're on the last rain delay, and you screamed it, right? You started doing the Blue Day, you started screaming it.
Yeah,
and
except I tweaked it around where it says like clap for the mayors of Walk Off City, saying like
Yeah.
we're walking off right now.
Yeah, and you called it. You literally called the shot of walking off. And I look behind me, and there's still fans there, even after the rain delays, and they're just soaked. They're drenched. And I'm looking around, I'm like, all right, I'm drenched too. The whole team is drenched. And then we all started going nuts. I think I lost my voice. I just started screaming. I didn't even know if anything was coming out anymore. I just heard screaming around me too. So I started screaming. And then the walk happened, and then we all celebrated. It was definitely insane. It was insane. That was probably one of the top 5 moments there. It was ridiculous.
So I'm pretty sure during one of those rain delays, I saw you and a bunch of the other pitchers getting down to the Harlem Shake, right?
Yeah, we were going crazy. Yeah, I'm one of those guys that I got to dance. You got to put music on. I'm a big music guy, so I'll dance it out. Harlem Shake came out. I started going crazy. I think Pump It Up came up, and I started going crazy as well. But yeah, I feel like I was just in the zone, dancing, enjoying it. Just another day at the ballpark for me.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I mean, it's tough to entertain people during a rain delay, so I'm just trying to play nothing but bangers, you know. But I mean, so fast forward 3 weeks. Let's talk about Pink Night. You know, there's a lot going on. You know, like there's a lot at stake. But I mean, still, you had a week left in the season. But you know, you're a half game back of Auburn. You're playing them at home with a chance to overtake them in the division standings. For the time being, you know, like where does that atmosphere rank? Because obviously opening night was one thing, but Pink the Park Night took it to another level.
Yeah, I think that was probably. What would you say? Would you say that was the most fans we saw, or almost?
It had to be. It was either at worst, it was the second most.
Yeah, and it was definitely it something that hit home for me because cancer is something that I've lost loved ones to, and it's definitely a lot of my friends and people that I've known. Obviously, it's horrible, but it was cool just to wear that, have my last name on my back with that pink, and everyone in the park to have to be kind of there for the same thing, for the same cause. The game was good in itself, so that made it that much better. And then, after the game when we auctioned off our jerseys, it was something kind of like at first that I was like, I would want to keep this jersey, it's a memory, whatever. But then when I gave it away, it felt even better than all of that. And, when I saw that, the kid that I gave it to, when I met his dad, all that stuff, it was just such a great feeling. And knowing that, the money that was spent on my jersey went to a good cause. I think that was, big ups to Utica and George and everything that they did and they do on that night. Super important. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty insane, especially when Rosie went out there to start. I mean, before the game, I tried to talk to him, and he was just locked in. I think it's because his family was there as well, and cancer is a big part for him too. And yeah, he absolutely shoved that game. And I tried to talk to him the game before the game, and he just was locked in. There was no talking to him.
It was even more special because his grandmother, breast cancer survivor, throughout the first pitch too.
Yeah, he was just, once he walked on the mound, he was shoving. It was insane. I don't think Auburn really had a chance. It was just ridiculous. And we had the film guys there. The media was there. There's a ton of media, so everyone's trying to do, something, make the next big play. And I think that's what kind of held us to dominate Auburn like that. So yeah.
Yeah, and Harris had that highlight catch in the ninth, right?
Yes, yeah. All these memories.
Yeah. Where's that rank for you, catches you've ever seen?
That was insane. Catches. I think that's gonna be top 5, maybe top 3. At top 3. I'll say top 3. That was ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, Eddie, I believe you were still in the game at shortstop or third when that happened, and then Harris was in left.
Yeah, that was definitely, it was like Gio said, it was definitely top 5. I mean, I know remember when he got up and it was like, I was like, this guy has to be in pain because he left it all out. That's another great player. Shout out my boy Harris. He's really, really, really cool dude to be around. Definitely a good teammate to have in the dugout, all that.
So let's talk about the last 2 games of the season because, you guys obviously got to make playoffs, for your own sake because obviously you want to keep playing, right? So the second to last game, you play Auburn at home. Dewey tweaks his arm a little bit and he has to come after 2 innings. But what we knew Figgy was going to come out there and give quite a bit, but no one expected him to throw 7 innings of 1-hit ball and just obliterate Auburn. What was it like watching him? We talk about shoving. I mean, that was probably the best shoving we've seen all year from anyone on the staff.
Yeah, Figgy's my close friend. Me and him are boys. I since me and him are talking, we talk pitching a lot, and I just know that he lives for that feeling of, the game is relying on you to go out there and, perform your best. And he loved it, and he took it in, and he controlled it. I mean, he controlled the game, he controlled the other team. And it was just kind of like insane of like where I was thinking, I was like how better can this get? Like each inning was something crazy where he was either breaking a guy's ankles or he was just like striking out the side. And I was just like, this cannot get more insane. And every inning it got even more insane, especially the further you went in. And yeah, he was definitely locked in. I mean, the guy had crazy stuff throughout the whole season. He shoved the whole season, and that game basically proved it was definitely one of his highlights of the season, but it proved that, how great and how good that kid could be. So
yeah, he's definitely, like Gio said, we created kind of a bond. Me and Figgy right away. He's really cool dude, down to earth. And like you said, for the first half, I knew, Figgy was a good pitcher. He was solid. I loved his arm angle, different, unique. But that game for sure definitely showed me like that kid, like he can play anywhere. To be honest, sometimes, I'd be like, okay, Figgy's pitching. I could be out there sitting down with my eyes closed, and I knew I probably wouldn't get a ball. That was kind of the thing for him when he was pitching. Like nobody really touched him, and when it was super weak. It was something probably, not in fair territory. He was just a good pitcher, and like Gio said, he kept everybody. Even in at bat that I got against him prior to the summer. Like a week before we started, inter squads and stuff, and he got good stuff.
Talk about a 180. The next night, you played Watertown with a chance to clinch the playoff spot, and he was great pitching the night before. Unbelievable hitting that night. Eddie, you were in the lineup, and you were one of many guys who really put some good swings on the ball. Have you ever been a part of like an offensive domination like that?
Definitely not. I remember when we coming into the season, Dewey and Ryan Enos would tell me like, yeah, we had basically scored. We're gonna score in the first inning every game. We're always gonna score. Like that's what we did last summer. That's what we're pretty much known for. And I love that. I love that. As much as I love the defensive part of the game, the offensive part of the game is something that you can't always get the best out of in every team that you play for. But definitely here it was with Ryan. I remember, like you said, I was in the line. I believe I was batting second that day. Ryan gets on as usual, lead off, and then I got him in with the double off the wall in right center. But and then we just kind of went from there, and we just kept pounding and pounding on him. But that it just goes to show how good we played when we were all, because how well we played together, I guess you could say. When somebody got on, you would know, okay, he's definitely getting in. He's definitely going to stuff like that. And that's not something that you can get from every team that you play for. And it was definitely a good experience for me.
So, you want to talk about, obviously there were great hitters on that team, but in a class of his own and in the franchise's history, he stands alone. Lou was just unbelievable. And I think he had like 4 or 5 innings in a row with a hit. And he actually broke the all-time hits record for the franchise in that game. But how unbelievable was he that night? And just learning from a guy like him, just a seasoned hitter, just being so cerebral and tremendous at his craft. What was that like watching Eddie?
For sure. Because I knew he's in the conference that I played for in the MEAC before that I used to play in, and I always heard about him. He got preseason player of the year, all that stuff. And then when we got there, he's not a man of many words. So I didn't know what to expect. So first game, and he's just barreling everything. And I'm like, wow, that's legit. And then, okay, so I'll see you tomorrow. Same thing. The next day, same thing. Just always barreling balls, always always finding a way to get a hit, get on. And it was good that I picked his brain throughout the whole summer. We became really close friends. We're both Dominican. We kind of related in a lot of ways. He's like, really, like I said, cool dude, down to earth. Loved playing with him. He has very unorthodox way of going about things. When I would ask him, "Oh, what do you do about this? What do you do?" "Oh, nothing." What do you think about whatever? When you're nothing. So it's just natural. It's just, it's second nature for him. But just by that, sometimes less is more, and you learn a lot from guys like that. And it was definitely good to play with him, spend time with him off the field too. And he's a really good guy.
So Gio, for you, I don't know how often you pitch to Angel, but I mean, as a hitter, we've seen, he's not really a guy known for power. So when you guys had tied the franchise record for most runs in a game with 19, you're going into the 6th inning. What from the dugout? What do you think when Angel just barrels one? I'm pretty sure it was like high and tight, and he just golf swings and pulls it down the line for a dinger.
Yeah, I was at the gate just talking to kid's family, just talking to them, and I turned and look at the game for a second, and there's a ball at Angel's knee, and he golfs it, and I'm just observing it in the air. I think it was in the air for like the longest time possible, and I'm just looking at it. I was like, "Is that out?" And the ball just kept going and going and going. I was like, "Oh no way!" Because you don't see Angel kind of barrel or have like insane power like that, and the way that he got down and got the ball and barreled it, it was insane. And I definitely flipped out on the other side of the dugout. And his teammates too that came from Valpo with him are definitely going insane as well. And I bet he's not going to forget about that. I mean, that was insane.
Yeah, I think Eddie, I think you were like a few hitters. I think Angel was in the 8 hole, so I think you were a few hitters behind. But could you have ever expected Angel, of all the people in that lineup, as good as it was, Angel being the one to break that run record?
No, definitely. If you would have told me Angel's gonna break it, I would have said with a home run, because Angel he could definitely break it, with a hit, getting something. But with a home run, wasn't expecting it. But like Gio said, he went down, he got it. At the end of the day, what I could say about him too, seeing him throughout this whole season, when he's up there at bat, he's a competitor. He can grind away at bats. And that's what he did, and it worked out for him with that pitch, because like I said, he's a competitor.
So, there were so many great moments that you guys got to be a part of. And, early on, when you guys were playing during the spring at your school, I feel like attendance must have been limited. So, how great was it to, play 2 months, whether it be in Utica or even on the road, just being in front of crowds, some you were small just because, they just can't draw for whatever reason. But, what was it like, not having those limitations and playing in front of the crowds that you did all summer?
Yeah, I feel like playing in front of crowds and the packed season that we had, it was kind of more of a demo of, what your goal is, and that's to get drafted and play in organizations, and you're going to experience what you experience, but in a kind of more in a bigger level. I think my experiences in Utica with a little demo was kind of just like, yeah, I can do this for my entire life. I could do this for my goal, and this is exactly what I wanted, and it just solidified of, why I'm there and why baseball has an insane impact on my life. And Utica was just, they were there, very supportive, and they allowed me to fall even more in love with the game than I already was. And yeah.
Eddie, for you?
It was definitely. I think I cut out for a second. So I can. Okay, we're good now. Yeah. So you guys can hear me, right?
We can hear you. Roll with it.
All right, cool. So it was definitely, like Gio said, being surrounded by all those guys. Like during the season in school, we would have to be in groups or whatever it was. Being with all, it kind of brought baseball like back, kind of revived it for me, and it kind of reminded me while I'm playing the sport, and being surrounded by fans, teammates, everybody was definitely a good experience, and especially in college, since it's a college, it's more guys, bigger rosters. I haven't been surrounded by that many. It was kind of the first time in a while since my freshman year. It was good. It was fun, and kind of reminded me why I love this game so much.
And it also helps when we have those team bonding events like we did at Penn's, especially when a few of the guys would show each other up on the lanes.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. Who was the good bowler? Gio, was it Figgy?
Figgy was a good bowler. I think Harris was an okay bowler. I think Garrett was a good bowler.
Aiden Layton was pretty good from what I remember.
Aiden was good too.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously as moving on, obviously Gio, I know for you, obviously we want to be a stepping stone here in Utica for guys to take the next step. So first and foremost, congrats to you. Moving up to the Northwoods. At the end of the day, we want to see our guys succeed and move up and onto bigger and better things. So first off, I know we were talking before, but congrats on going to the Northwoods. We definitely want you to succeed. We know you have the acumen to do it. And for Eddie, I know for you, you're going to be changing setting. Congrats on your commitment to Barry University, very good Division II school. But overall, for you guys, what do you plan on taking with you from your summer experience in Utica? Moving forward into your 2022 spring seasons at your respective schools now.
Yeah, I mean, Utica was kind of a developmental state, kind of where I found myself, where I started finding my identity as a pitcher of who I wanted to be and what type of pitcher I wanted to be. And it definitely translated into my fall season, because I had a standout fall season. And whatever happens this spring and whatever spot I am, whether I'm starting, relieving, closing, or anything like that, it's definitely been because of Utica. I would say it was more of a start of who I am today. And I'm definitely grateful for it. I mean, Tuttle talked about how you guys develop guys, and you guys definitely developed me. And I say that I am 100 times better than I was before I even entered there. So I'm happy with the future's going to bring me. If it's Major League Baseball or any type of baseball or anything inside baseball, even if it's outside of baseball, Utica definitely treated me in how I could be independent and all that stuff. So there's definitely more stuff to be learned, and I was definitely grateful for the opportunity.
And last one, ready?
For me, the summer that I had was something that I was definitely looking for and needed in my point in my career at that point. And it was definitely something that I'll have for the rest of my playing career. One person specifically, especially Coach Todd Cole, he was definitely the guy that every day that I would work with, early work, even in the game, talking to me. He definitely has changed my game. I can say for the rest of my career, he's shown me stuff, he's taught me stuff, on and off the field too. Not only fielding, not only hitting, but also as a man, with conversations that we've had. He's definitely been a big part of, he's definitely going to continue being a big part of my, college career, all that stuff, because like I said, he was another one that helped kind of revive that, love for the game for me. And Coach Chaco, I know he's down in Georgia. We talk a lot. And for sure, I would do anything for that guy. He helped me out a lot. So I really appreciate him. And, also George, Coach Doug, Coach Doug also worked with me hitting, picked his brain a lot. Great dudes, great baseball dudes, great minds. And it's definitely something that I'm gonna bring with me down to Miami in the spring.
So, again, it was long overdue that I got, the both of you on. It's really funny, in terms of the guys that, I already knew a handful of the guys that were coming back, but in terms of the newbies, you two were the first that, I met. You guys were in the clubhouse, introduced myself to y'all, and I'm like, you know what? I could tell these are Utica guys right here. They fit the mold, and you definitely proved that all summer long. Gio, Eddie, thank you for the time, for coming on the Soxcast. It was great talking about this past summer and everything involved in it. Again, best of luck you guys in the spring. And, again, nothing but well wishes for that. And of course, moving forward, hope both of you guys, will, keep playing for as long as humanly possible and hopefully getting to the pro rank. So thanks to both of you again.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
So that does it for the Soxcast. For Giovanni Canales and Eddie Javier Jr., PA guy Tim Best signing off. Thanks for tuning in. And next week, you got the man, the myth, the legend, head coach Doug Dillette joining the show. So until next time, enjoy the rest of your week, and we will catch you next time for another edition of the Soxcast.